Okay, hey guys, it's Allie. It's August 14th, 2021. This is my second day uh, doing these kind of recordings. If you watch my video from yesterday, you'll see that it was cut off at the end because I let my phone sit in the sun and it was threatening to explode. So I was done, but it cut off. It cut off very quickly. And I appreciate you if anybody is listening to this. But at the same time, as I said yesterday, this is just me kind of documenting my days as I'm trying to follow what my soul is guiding me to. And I'm trying to stay in alignment with the things that feel best to me. And it's a process. Every single day is a process. And sometimes I feel so high and it feels so good. I can't even imagine going back down and feeling in a low vibration again. But then a day or two later, it will cycle around and I'll have old thoughts coming up and I will find myself in a very low vibration place. And it feels like I can't get out of it. And I'm like, how do I get back there? I've noticed that the striving to get back to where I was is not necessarily the best place to be. Instead, being very conscious of my thoughts and figuring out maybe why I'm in that place. Have I been thinking old limiting thoughts? Catching myself, being very aware of it, and changing my focus to things that make me feel good. Now, this doesn't automatically lift me up necessarily. It can take a while. But if my mind is really going, and a lot of times it is, I'm a Gemini and I am all up in my mind, but I'm working on that. I'm trying to balance that out. But I try to do something to take my mind off thinking at all because my mind can't usually get me out of that low vibration state. It is going, and it's so ingrained that thoughts just keep coming up if I'm in a low vibratory state. So what I do, I'll exercise. That very much helps. I will read an uplifting book of some sort. I will watch uplifting documentaries, something on Gaia. I will watch videos on YouTube like Neville and Florence Scovel Shinn and all those things that make me feel very powerful. And I mean, deep down, I do believe that. That is the truth. But because myself and probably most other people have lived in a society with family and friends that have been raised to think that we are not powerful, we are less than, we are at the mercy of things, we don't have control. We have a certain amount of control, but the control we do have is over our thoughts and how we react to things. And that's really everything, because the thoughts that we carry and the way we react creates our reality and the world. It's a mirror. It's so strange to think about, but it really is the truth. But rarely have people been taught that. So all those limiting beliefs are really ingrained. And it takes time to get out of them. So for me, what I've been doing, and it's been a process, like I said, I'll get feeling really high and then I'll get down into a low state. But what I've been noticing, because I've had to be very conscious, is that I'm sorry, I'm kind of distracted. I hope that you guys can't hear too much of the noise over there. I notice that usually I'm caught in an old train of thought or an old story. And once I catch that, instead of letting it take me down or take me down into the old stories, I catch it and I notice, is this something that I want to create? Or is this something that I want to let go of? So in doing that, I have felt completely different being aware of those things and being able to be conscious. This has really tested my my way to really focus right now with all the people around. But it's such a beautiful park. Oh, there's a doggy. Okay. But if I'm aware of it, I can catch myself before I get too deep. And that's the whole thing. That changes everything. And so what I'll do is I will bring my focus back to something that feels good, to something that I'm wanting to see in my outside world. Now, maybe it doesn't feel great at first. Maybe I'm still a little stuck. But what I do is I just keep that in my mind, and I just don't let my mind run off with me. That's the key, is we are not our thoughts. So long we think whatever comes in our thoughts is real, but we have to question those thoughts. Are they real? Are those beliefs true? Are they serving me? And that's our power. That's where we bring our power in. Is because we get to choose what we think, and by choosing what we think, then we are able to create from that point. Most people are creating from an unconscious place. We're creating all the time. But even if you're not aware of the fact that you are unconsciously, you still are. It's just the way that it is. And so people have a lot of different things coming into their reality. It's so deep. It goes so much deeper than we can ever imagine. It's pretty magical. And a lot of people are waking up to that now. But for me, I'm just in this process, and it's funny because every time I think that I've turned the corner and, oh, I've got it, I feel so good, things are going my way, and I can't imagine ever feeling in a dip again, which is ridiculous because life is full of ups and downs. We can't be up all the time. It has to balance out. But then something will come up, like I'll start noticing I'm not getting sales in one of my online shops, and then I'll start to really focus on that. And the key is it's not about that. We can't place our power on external things. Everything that happens outside of us comes from inside. So if we give our power away to something external, then we are reliant on that to bring us happiness, fulfillment, security. And all of those things have to come from within. So it's like I know it intellectually, but it's such a process. It's such a process of being awake and aware every day, catching your stories, redirecting your energy. It's ongoing. And I'm not going to say that it's easy, because it's not, especially at first, because you have so many stories and beliefs and thoughts going on that you have to be like a gatekeeper to everything that's coming up in every minute of your day, to keep your energy focused on what feels good, what feels aligned, what is uplifting, what's expansive, what you want to create. And feel into those things so that you can create them in your reality. Those things specifically are something even better. But it's a process. And when you have grooves that are so deep, I'm in my mid-40s and I have grooves that have been so deep. I've been doing this work for about 10 years that it will take time. But just because it doesn't come easily doesn't mean it won't come. It will get easier the more that you do it. I've already noticed that, and I'm really happy when I start to catch my stories and notice that, hey, this is an old line of thinking, and this is something I've created in my life, and it's something I do not want anymore. So I am going to take my energy off of that and put it on something else. Put it on something I do want to create. Align with the feeling of having that, being that, having already manifested. And that's hard too. But as you do it more, it gets easier. It's just creating new grooves in your brain. And a lot of us have a lot of deep grooves from society and family, friends, conditioning, and everything. And this is doing something different. This is retraining our brain. But it's powerful if we just stick with it. And right now I'm in the process of doing that. I'm sticking with it, and I'm really curious It's like an adventure. I'm really curious to see where it's going to go. I'm pretty delighted because it's just like life is magical and there's all these different things we can create, and I believe that in my heart. I might get out of tune with that, out of alignment, and sink back into my victimhood at times, although I'm becoming better at that. It's like I know that life is magical and that we can create anything that we want, and that feels good. It's like that feels really expansive and really good to me. So this is something I'm doing every day. And also, I think I mentioned in my first video, is I have no idea why I'm doing these videos. I have no thought process as to what this is going to lead to, what it's going to look like, why. But it feels cathartic and it feels really good. Like just going out and talking and like getting, it's almost like journaling, but talking, getting all my thoughts of the day or something that's up in my mind out. That feels good to me. And usually I have to have everything planned out. I get an idea and I have to have it planned out A to Z. I have to know what it's going to look like. It has to be perfect. So this is something completely different. I'm doing these videos. I'm focusing more on having the video shoot something in nature because I think it's really calming, and I'm not crazy about being on video. So I still don't even know why I want to do these YouTube videos if I don't want to be on a video, but for some reason it's calling to me, so I'm listening to it. So this is my soul guiding me, but for once in my life, I'm not trying to plan it all out. And it doesn't have to look perfect, and I don't have to know what it's going to be like or end up like or where it's going to go. And for me, that feels so good to just do it and not worry about it having to be perfect. There are noises, there are this and that, and I'm not going to do any kind any kind of editing. The only thing I want to make sure of is that people can hear me, but it's not going to be perfect. It's just going to be me, authentic, and it's going to be the way it is. And if you like it, you like it, and if you don't, you don't. Everybody can choose what they like and choose what they want to watch and listen to, and with no judgments. And I think that's the way we have to be with all things. Everybody's different, and what resonates for some people might not resonate with others. But the key is we're all on our own path, and we don't want to judge other people. It doesn't. You can't come from a high vibration when you're judging other people. And I say this from total experience because I have judged a lot in my life, and mainly myself. And that's been the toughest part, is getting over judging myself, feeling like I have to look a certain way or be a certain way, to show up a certain way for people to like me, and have a certain kind of facade. If people meet me and I come across as a certain way, I feel like I have to stay like that. And I'm giving that up. I mean, I'm releasing all that by putting these videos out there and being fine if people like them, if no one ever watches them, if anything. Like being fine with all that. No judgment, Just being okay with myself. And just not caring what happens. But if it feels good to me, like if it feels good and expansive, and it's serving me and my heart, my soul, then that's all I need. I don't need people, to be there to make me feel good about myself or anything like that. Not that it doesn't feel good, but I don't need that, And I'm learning to be okay just with myself without having to get approval from others, Because if anybody else is judging you in any way, they are really judging something about themselves. It's really honestly never about us. It's about them. And so the big thing is to never take it personally. And I used to a lot. But when I realized this, that it's not me. It's never me. It's never us. It's never you guys. It's the person judging and what they're going through and their mirror and what they're dealing with. It's like so freeing, because that's where they're coming from, and that's something they need to work on. And if you can just realize that and have compassion for them, it frees up everything. It frees up your energy. Oh, it feels so good and so light. So I think that's all I got. I don't come into these talks with anything planned, so I probably do kind of ramble a bit. But it feels good not having to plan anything, because when if I planned it, it would come across as, to me, not really super authentic. And I probably would never do it, because I would feel like, oh, it has to be this way, it has to be that way, it has to be perfect, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm totally over that. Nothing has to be perfect. Just do it. Just start doing it and see what happens, and enjoy it. I mean, the best thing is like, I never would have done this before, sit in a park talking to myself with people just across the way eating. But I'm having so much fun. This is so much fun. And this is how life should be. We should be doing things that are fun, that we enjoy every day. Work should not be work, it should be fun. It should be play. That's what should be. There's a whole lot of other stuff I want to say on that eventually, but what you do if you are not having fun is not for you. So I'll dive more into that, because I am super, super passionate about that, and allowing myself to live from that place at this point. But I hope you guys have a good Saturday, and talk to you later. Bye.